actually an agency, a digital agency of DDB Worldwide. Okay, that's Doyle, Dane, and Burdock. Actually, the three American agency people. And DDB Worldwide is actually a US advertising or communication agency.
Thank you, sir.
Well, for me, actually now in digital, it is especially in social media. There's this thing as we call transparency, and at the same time authenticity. When you go into social media, you have to be real, you have to be honest. You cannot actually fool people because once they find out, you're dead. They will start actually posting these comments in different forums. They can come up with blogs and everything. And that's why when we actually were asked to help companies and brands to get them to come up with a social media strategy, we have to tell them, are you ready to be transparent and to be really honest? Because this online space, if you're not going to do that, you'll see, actually be ready to hear the negative comments also, because people will be posting all of this. So you have to be ready for this.
For me, truth in advertising would translate to engagement. For us in Pfizer, engagement is very important. It means that you need to consult with your stakeholders regularly, and you need to open your channels, is what John mentioned. Your channels and your communication lines should be open for both your products, your programs, and your services, either internally amongst the employees themselves or externally among your clients or your customers. Thank you.
In ethical marketing, we believe that the truth in advertising, for instance, for our brands being evidence-based, we are very careful in making false claims. Almost everything that we put in a brochure or in a detail aid has to be supported by data. This is also the reason why, aside from spending about $800 million for a drug, we spend several hundred millions more for additional studies so that we can substantiate all the claims that we put to back up our brand. In the end, this is the reason to believe for our brands in our value proposition.
I guess I'd like to answer the question by taking the point of view of a doctor, since what I'm involved with is the healthcare industry. I guess for most stakeholders in the healthcare industry, what they really want to find out or what they want to achieve is to understand what usually is the realm of the doctor they want to understand. So for a doctor, I guess it's a matter of being factually with no embellishments, and I guess keeping on the details which would actually have direct impact on the kind of health outcomes. And truth in advertising for the healthcare industry, for me, should not delve into the inconsequentials in as far as the healthcare outcomes are concerned.
Any other questions? Thank you for those answers. Yes, Dr. Yap.
My question can be answered by the four of you, but maybe pick certain peculiarities. Mine has to do with what metrics do you use to determine whether you've actually made an impact. That's particular to you, Mr. Lucas, because I did sense from the last AVP that it had something to do with how many hits and stuff like that. But I'm curious about how that's translated. Let's say I'm an investor and I have this amount of money and I'm deciding whether I should go to traditional media or something in digital. So that's for you. Now for the Pfizer people, metrics still, but having to do with the so-called CSR dimension. I know you will say that it's never impacted on sales, but let's call a spade here, okay? And for Teo, I do know that you've said that it's the repeat contracts, but other than that, because I kind of sense that you really made a play on, you know, customer service and transparency, and what other things do you make sure in doing all of this, do you think health outcomes here or something like that? So.
I guess it's my turn to speak first now. Aside from, of course, the obvious would be, again, the renewals. But most of the metrics or the measures for customer satisfaction that we do pay attention to would actually occur probably around the middle of the year. It's a given, of course, that at the end of the contract year, we're running after all our clients for renewal purposes. But in as far as utilization is concerned, what we actually measure would be the amount of complaints and reimbursements. One, if reimbursements are actually filed with us, that already reflects on our provider network. Reimbursements would imply that they went to a hospital. Yes, it's either they're not happy or there is no provider in that particular area of the Philippines. Our scale of operations is nationwide. So the amount of claims for reimbursements would be one thing. Another thing would be the direct appeals for additional coverage. Unfortunately, it's a daily battle having to explain that our health maintenance agreements do have limits. And more often than not, the appeals actually have to do with certain exclusions, permanent or otherwise, which were not realized at the time of the contract signing. But of course, there will always be appeals for consideration. And in that sense, we view it as an inadequacy of the design because we tend to customize our health maintenance agreements depending on the age profile of the clients or in the industry. So the other metrics perhaps would be file complaints, obviously, and the reasons for filing the complaints. If it's going to be a matter of availment approval, which is again one of the biggest questions, and one of the reasons why we have gone into investing into computerization of the approval process, and again, communications for settling these issues.
Really glad that you actually brought up metrics because in our business, actually, it is important we deliver the results. Advertising through the digital media like TV, there's no model right now that if I run a 30-second spot, that it will give you this much sales. Of course, because it's always part of a whole marketing program or things. Now, for digital, that's why it's very critical for us that when we meet with clients, we must really understand the business and the issues, actually, and at the same time, your objectives. We cannot go to a client and just accept with the objective of generate awareness and travel. It doesn't work that way, right? If you say, okay, I want to increase my business by this %, you must also know where will we get the business. So actually, you have a good understanding of your marketing programs and everything. Now, if you say, okay, I want to go to social media just to build communities, okay, I want to build that community in Facebook so the number of fans can be the metrics, right? But how would I know these fans would buy my product? My next question to you would be, do you have an online store or an online e-commerce? So I can lead them from that Facebook page, I can track it if they'll be going to the online store. So again, there are measures and there are actually online tools to monitor that. Or if I say, for example, okay, I just want digital to improve my reputation, right? So now it's actually the blogs, the conversations, and there are actually online tools to monitor all of that. Or maybe, search engine management, we say, okay, I don't want the negative blogs or links in Google to be in the top 3 and top 5, then you come up with a search engine management strategy to actually at least bring up the positives and the negatives down. So again, it will be dependent on your objectives. But again, we can actually have the measures, the metrics for digital.
Okay, so for corporate social responsibility,